add Kurdish Ball into the mix with us now. What do you want to say, my friend?
Yes, Terry. Thank you for having me on again, bro. Let's look at the root cause. Obviously, the boys watched the game. Within the first 5 minutes, Napoli were behind our back line twice. And the second time, it came back and it was a penalty. Now, what happened is we lost the duels in midfield. This goes back to years of negligence. They bought the club in 2010. They sold Fernando Torres for 50 million and they bought Andy Carroll and Suarez. In them 5 years, they didn't invest. They didn't invest any more money until Suarez left. When Suarez left, Brendan Rodgers wanted Alexis Sanchez and Fsg said, no, we're not paying them wages. And they bought in Barini and Lambert. Brendan Rodgers was made to be Lamb of the Slaughter again. We then go on to bring Klopp, who is a miracle worker. Klopp was slowly given money, and it was only because he was continuously selling players. And then slowly with Klopp's success, buying gems at 30 to 50 million and making them world-class players, such as Salah, such as Bennett, because none of these were world-class players at the time, bro. Let's be honest. What happened is the success was slowly papering over the cracks that were there. And then the top Reds were saying, but they're investing in the stadium and they're investing in the new training ground. All that should be bare minimum expected from an owner, such as you guys are expecting from Glazers, because this is what sets up the club for future success. And it profits them longer term. And then what happened was, Wijnaldum left, they never replaced him. And then slowly, you started to see a little bit of depth in the team last year when they bought Diaz. And actually, we reached 2 finals. We got to the Champions League final, and we were 1 point off the league because we had depth on the bench. This summer, they got rid of the quality on the bench to balance the books. Minamino, they got rid of Mane and bought Nunes in. And let me tell you, if they bought Tchouaméni in, they wouldn't have bought Nunes in. And then on top of that, Klopp himself came out towards the end of the summer and said, I want to be more risky and I need signings. And even then, they didn't sign anyone until Henderson got injured. And then they bought him Arthur Melo, who with Arthur Melo, they're literally sharing the wages with Juventus. So to them, the priority still was to balance the books. So Klopp's been papering over the cracks for a long time, and the success has been doing that. But actually, the bigger issue has been lying for the last 10 years. The club has not invested. The average player for Liverpool spend is 22 million over the 10 to 15 years of FSG. They spend 22 million average on a player. In today's market, that is infeasible. And actually, 2 years ago, you could find a player for 30 to 40 million and then make him a gem. But the market has moved on. FSG are not just able to handle Liverpool now, because Klopp has took Liverpool to a place where they're eating with Man City, PSG, and Madrid. And they can't keep up with that. But it's not just that. They can't keep up with the sport either, bro. The sport has evolved past them. Because Salah now, not now in his form, but if you bought Salah from Roma now, you're not getting him for 30 million. You're paying 60 to 70 million. And FSG have proven year on year that they cannot match this. And we want to know. Fans should have the right to know now and should ask, where have the profits gone? Where have they gone? Because actually, it came out only a couple of days ago. Only a couple of days ago it came out. And I've lost my head today, bro, because I've been shouting this for 15 years. And it came out literally last week that Liverpool have made record profits again, that we've overturned Man United for profits. Where is this investment? Why are the fans not questioning it? And
because we won a trophy 3 years ago and it's all right. That's the main consensus in the fan base. We won a trophy 3 years ago and it's all right, and it's not good enough.
But Tom Bump, my bro, that's been papering over the cracks. And with
exactly.
Klopp, you've got a miracle worker, you've got a manager who can do this. But actually, even the year where we lost the defenders, it was only Alisson's header that we got on the Champions League. Let's be honest. So
you hit the nail on the head. They haven't lived up. They haven't lived up to how we've grown. They bought a mid-table club with top 4 aspirations, and they went, we can get you to top 4. They got us to top 4, brilliant. And then we grew past top 4, and they went, oh, I don't want to do that. No. I can still invest my top 4 money and reach that level. I'll just keep doing that. They're businessmen, and they don't care about the success of this football club. So they have just stuck at a top 4 investment level since 2018-19, and that was never more prevalent than when we won the Champions League and bought Harvey Elliott and Adrian. We're at the peak. We are the most desirable club in the world to join at that point, and they give him a 15-year-old from Fulham and a 32-year-old keeper from West Ham. and he worked miracles again. Got won us a title, and then again the issues are there. We need more money. They bring in 2 good players. We could still do it. We were left short in centre backs. It came back and bit us. The issue is with this club, we cover off bases, but we're always one short at the end of the window, and we're sat there going, well, what if we could just sit there and invest fully in one season? And it's never going to happen, unfortunately.
And do you know what? I'm emotional. I'm emotional. Do you know why I'm emotional? Because actually, I've been shouting about this for 10 years, and people say to me, "Oh, you're a Tourist fans," and we call them top res, and they call us Tourist fans, and they're the same people that stand there and go, "But FSG built a new stand," and they built the new stand for us Tourist fans and for tourists from the US to come over. So they don't see the irony in themselves, and it's enough. And Glazers, as much as United fans will slay Glazers and say Glazers out because they don't invest in the infrastructure, which FSG do, but actually Glazers do invest in players. So it's almost like, okay, you guys aren't getting it on that end. We're not getting it on this end. But why are our fans they don't call out? And why are our fans having to go out with fans that call them out?
Just to echo what you're saying, the issue we've got is that, first of all, as Terry pointed out earlier, Klopp is an enabler in this. The reason is because he is someone that is happy with working with what he's got and maximizing the most out of players, maximizing the most. When you hear his terminology, he speaks about squeezing the most he can out of this season, squeezing the most he can. 4 years ago, Klopp went and spoke about, if I ever have to spend 100 million on a player, I'll quit football because football's gone that way. His principles in football don't align with where we are as fans right now, where some of us are, because we want continual success. Yet we've had the Premier League now. We want the Premier League the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that, because we're seeing where we are. Yeah. The issue FSG have is that when you have the money ball kind of model within football, yeah, it's suited to the American model. The American model has wage caps, and there's a premise amongst fans and clubs that there's a 5-year cycle. So you look at, people might not understand basketball, but you look at the Lakers, for example. 5 years or the Bulls with Michael Jordan. 5 years, they're really, really good. Then they fall off. Why? Because you've got the draft system and all of that type of thing. That is what FSG came into. FSG came into under the premise saying that there's going to be FFP put in place in order to go and make things fair. Clearly, in European football, it doesn't matter about FFP. You can spend as much as you want. You do whatever. So Liverpool, in fact, we do spend money, but we spend money on wages. What we've given Klopp is the first time in his career you get to keep your players. You get to keep your players. Van Dijk's not going to Barcelona. Mane's not going to Real Madrid. You get to keep your players for their peak years. And Klopp's love that. So when he speaks about, and you hear it in his terminology, Klopp's players can leave on their own accord. We're never going to force players out. We're never going to force players out.
And then we get stuck in this situation.
So just as Klopp enables us, we as fans also enable that kind of situation, because we then turn around and say, hey, well, it's great. It's all right.
But bro, that right there that you've mentioned, and again, this comes down to FSG, that's the bare minimum, because you're no longer eating at a table where players are being paid 150 to 175. You're a Champions League winner and challenging with Man City, PSG, and Madrid. So you need to be paying your players 250 to 300k. We have one player in the whole squad, in Mo Salah, that earns over 250k.
He had to fight for his life for that money as well. He had to fight for his life. He was waiting years to get that money.
Exactly. So now, if you're wanting to eat at the table with City and the rest, because let me tell you this, if you said to Haaland, and this is being the extreme end, I am being extreme now, but if you said to Haaland, you get to play in Klopp's, rock and roll style, and actually we'll give you the City wages, I think Haaland is more tempted to come under and play under Klopp. I really believe that, because it's a better style of football.
You're doing too
more
much
exciting.
But you're doing too much there.
Too
much.
Yeah. No, guys, listen, I understand your points as well. We did have a Tottenham fan who was backstage who wanted to bring on, because I did want to speak Tottenham on the show as well. It's been not hijacked. We're obviously talking about Liverpool as well. We have shared the link, so the Spurs fans watching, you could have phoned in and have your say. I know Dan was backstage. I'll give you a few minutes to jump in and have your say. But listen, I understand the things you guys are saying. You have spent money on wages. The money is there, though, and this is the thing with the top red claim that you made. There's top reds or top. I'm sure that there's top blues or proper Chelsea, and there's people like that. I don't think City have enough fans to kind of create those issues. But there is this, you get these fans that are like, no, what we say goes. And if you don't agree with us, you've got to move on. But anyone that tries to shut your opinions down, essentially by bullying, whether it's digital or physically threatening you, that means you're right. Generally speaking in life, if you've got an opinion and people are trying to shut it down through bullying, shut it down through threatening to attack you, you may not be 100% correct, but you're on the right track, because otherwise you just ignore it, right? You go chatting nonsense. That doesn't mean anything, etc., etc.